Most people believe that growth happens alone, that you're just doing everything on your own, by yourself, you against the world. But here at Reclaim Media, we want to tell you that you're not always alone. There are people out there that believe the same thing as you and are also trying to reclaim their humanity and their sovereignty. Two such people are Matt and Bobby from Two Kind Minds. They're my guests today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
No
nice
worries
to
at
have a
all.
chat with you, mate. Thanks for having us on. It'd be great
Yeah,
to have a
good
chat.
guys. I've been looking forward to it, so thank you for coming on board. Now, you guys have been blowing up a lot lately. You've been on a couple of different channels. You've been all over the place. You're also part of our mastermind group, which we'll touch on at some stage and just learn a bit more about that. But you guys have been blowing up. You've been on a couple of different channels. You've started your own Two Kind Minds. You're busy finding your voice, and you're doing really, really well at that. And obviously, a part of that is about Bitcoin, which we'll get into during the course of the chat. But let's just start at a backstory quickly. Let's just talk about who are you guys, where you're from, and why did you end up here? How did you end up here? So it's just a few minutes of backstory.
Well, where do we start? Yeah, we're just a mum and dad, three kids, three teenage kids, or in the 20s, and now down to a 15-year-old, the youngest. Yeah, I'm a tradie. Bobby's a stay-at-home mum, but we have owned a business previously and since sold. Yeah, so long story short, we well, how long have we got? We ended up where we are now through pretty much COVID, really, and the way COVID was rammed upon us in such a totalitarian fashion, really, and the overreach of this government, or the previous government. This one's no better. Yeah, so we were mumbling along for a while, really, after we sold the business through COVID. That was pretty testing times, and
went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
Yeah, and really began with our health after COVID, and not trusting that we need medicine and science, that trust the science to really save us all, in a sense. We were like, no, we're not having a bar of this. We're going to do some research. And it's one thing we've always done. And when we put our head down and our bums up, we really get stuck into really looking for the truth. And COVID was a big one. Whenever they started censoring stuff, we went the other way. So
just touching on that COVID, or just prior to COVID, were you guys just the normal Aussie family prior to COVID that just followed the rules, opened your business, ran a business, sent the kids to school, followed the narrative? Or were there things in the background, years ago that got you questioning things, or anything in the background that started you questioning the narrative? Or were you guys already slightly alternative?
We probably were slightly alternative. We still, did follow the program system to an extent, but I never took medication or anything like that. I was always a bit different in that sense. But
you worked in a pharmacy.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of prescription medications, like people addicted to them, and that from a young age. I was in there at 18, so yeah, we didn't really.
Not in such a sense. I mean, 9/11 was another one where you're like, yeah, this doesn't seem right. It didn't affect us immediately. So I've always been someone who questions something, like even in school, primary school, high school, I did question a lot of things, and probably drove my teachers mad a fair amount of time. I was getting kicked out of class a lot for why. And even through my apprenticeship and probably doing the training, through my TAFE studies, and I still have always been one of those ones, why do we have to do it this way? Is there another way? So deep down, I guess maybe that's a trait of mine, and probably a bit of perfectionism as well. So I want to get it better, and the way I'm being shown, maybe questioning why that is, whether that relates to, tinfoil hat and the rabbit holes you go down. That's a whole nother story. But it is. Really. Yeah.
It tends to be that if you are a little bit alternative, then you get labelled straight away. I don't know if that's been your experience, but it's definitely been mine. For me, 9/11 was my wake-up call in terms of waking up to what the world is really like. But I still went back down and lived in the world. And, I was just turning 21, trying to get into different things. So you sort of get drawn back into it, but my mind had been opened. And you guys strike me as the same sort of people where you don't seem to be as much like the mainstream sheep, where everybody is just following the narrative. Like there's something there that you guys obviously were looking for. And when COVID hit, thankfully for a lot of people, it was a wake-up call. And obviously you guys were part of that where you really did notice it straight away. So congratulations on that, first of all. And you obviously became very vocal on that as well, straight away, which is great. But you also obviously experienced a bit of hardship through your business. So what exactly happened at the business, just for the audience, that made you go, hang on, this isn't right anymore?
Where do we start? It was the fear campaign to start with. Just that rhetoric on that. I mean, we probably still listen to the radio and watched a little bit of mainstream at the time, not really a whole lot, but it was just that constant fear and that message of the death toll. And that was early on. And then it was when push come to shove and they just said, you must have this or you won't be able to have your job. And everyone's got a choice. That was the hard part.
I just had a gut feeling when it come out that it was just, I don't know, it just didn't add up. It just didn't seem right. Like it was just, So
it was very left
straight
field,
away.
wasn't it?
I was like, this is weird. Like, no, this isn't right.
2 weeks to flatten the curve, eh? That's all it was.
Yeah. And then the vaccines come along and I was like, no way. Like,
same. And that was a big one. Like, I think early on you're like, well, it's 5 to 10 years to develop any vaccine. And this one, all of a sudden, could be just at a flick of a switch, it was ready. And I think I remember the time, they were showing a plane landing here in Perth, we're from Perth, with all the saviour, this plane landing in the Perth airport with, they've got all the vaccines on board and, it's almost like they had to roll the red carpet out sort of thing. It's like, for fuck's sake, like, really, we depend on the government and our health is in their hands. Like, no, that's when I really myself thought, no, we've got control of our own body. We don't need these people that get paid a way too much amount of money to tell us what to do, and they don't have any experience in this industry. Sorry, that was it, Mark.
It's just a build.
That was the moment.
Yeah, like a build up of all different things, and then it just all clicks together, sort of like a jigsaw, I think. And then it's like, I get it. This is how it works. All this.
Because you guys obviously ran a business at the same time, so now you've got these two different narratives going. You're trying to survive as a business and as a family, and then you've got these, moral dilemmas keeping you trying to fight against this new thought that you've got in your mind. So obviously you had these two different opposing thoughts in your mind and you're trying to survive. So what did you guys do to say, well, regardless of what we're going to move forward with, we're not going to comply to this or that. We're going to keep our sovereignty. We're going to keep our humanity and do our own thing. But how did you financially do that in such a stressful time?
Yeah,
it was. Well, I feel sorry for my mum because I was in the cafe with my mum. It was me and my mum's cafe. So I blatantly just refused. No, I'm not having the vaccine. So I just pulled away for the 4 months and 10 days or whatever it was. And Matt had to stay at work to support the household. So
yeah, that's another story. That was really hard for me, mate. My wife, Bobby, and our 3 kids didn't have the vaccine. I pushed hard. It really buried me mentally. I already had a few other issues going on with mental health. And I was away from work, I think 3 months. And by the skin of my teeth, I kept my job. I was basically forced to have the 2 and I got away with not having the 3. And even just speaking about that now, it's really bloody hard because I've never had to go through something like that where someone was administering a medication to my body that was 100% against my will. We did try it. I think looking back on it now, immediately as soon as the mandate came out, we sat down with Bobby's mum and the cafe was up for sale. We were like, it's selling. We're getting a bus. We're moving. We're gonna tour around Australia if this sells. It didn't sell, basically. And I was left holding hold the handle on everything, and that's what we have to do. It's quite hard still to talk about it 6 years later, but
well, I can see that, man.
really
I can see that it's a tough thing to talk about. So I appreciate you saying these things because I know it's not easy.
Look, I'm happy to talk about it because I don't suppress it. I think too many people put it aside and say it's over and it's done with. It's not over and done with because it was a precursor to what is happening now. So I'm happy to talk about it. It's just the mental side of things, but I'm still proud of myself for standing up, showing our kids this is what you do when someone comes over top of you and your family and your self-sovereignty. This is what you do. You stand up. Try not to walk the other way to the crowd, and that's exactly what we did. And sadly, I think we're entering another phase of this in a different form. I think it's a lot more economic and it's a lot more sinister.
And going through COVID, we decided we never ever want to put ourselves in that situation again. Like Matt will never have to be. So that's probably what's pushed us more now to get into doing something different that we can exit the system and
control ourselves. That was the biggest thing, that not having control over,
your own choices.
Yourself, your body. How dare somebody else say, we're going to tell you what you can and can't do to work, to go to a funeral, to go to a wedding. I'm not sure too many people like to revisit it, but I will never forget it. I don't think it was anything most people will never forget. I just think too many people revert back to that exact same system at the time that I believe in our circles, 70% of people said, this is bullshit, this is not right. But they were cornered, they had debt over the top of their head, and they didn't have anywhere else which to go. So
we were the same.
We had business.
And that's it. You're 100% right. So like I agree 100% with you guys, and I can see exactly, it's not an easy thing to talk to, but I'm glad that you are, because like you say, we need to. But it is hard to remember it and remember what you went through. But I agree, we're going through it again financially. But that is how they always screw the pooch. They always do it through the finances. And during COVID, same period that you guys went through, I also went through the same thing with a business. Luckily, I was able to resist, but the stress that it put on me threw me into depression and anxiety that I wasn't able to control for quite some time. Looking back now over the time, because about a year after COVID, I actually quit that job, which was a long-term career for me, which was a huge decision. But looking back now, I found out about 2 months ago that I have very low testosterone levels. And that has anxiety and depression, and everything is also caused by low testosterone. And your inability or unwillingness to fight the system when you don't have your hormones right. So I've been going through that apparently for like 10 years, which was a few years before COVID. But I can understand that the anxiety and the depression and all those kind of things that come from high stress levels. And then you throw, government overreach and all this kind of stuff on top of it. And that's how they get people to comply, is through finances and stress, fear and finance.
Yeah.
And that's where we are right now. And that's obviously, I agree with you guys. We are going through that again in a different format. But this time, what I'm trying to do with my channel, and what you guys are trying to do with your channels, is we're trying to build a community, and we're trying to make people aware of what's going on. From my side, Reclaimed is trying to tell people like yourselves and others that are on the journey, you're not alone. We can do this together. We are a community of people that have been through it together. So let's support each other. People that have gone through mental health struggles together, how do we come together and actually support each other to get through this? And Bitcoin is an answer that a lot of us have come to through all of this. I don't know about you guys, but I actually quit Bitcoin in 2020. I got out on the second bounce. I actually quit Bitcoin in 2020, sold everything because of COVID, got out of debt, decided, no, it's going to collapse soon, and Bitcoin's a scam. And it was only, let's call it a year ago now, where I orange pilled myself again and actually understood it this time for the first time. I didn't actually read the white paper the first time. So did you guys get it the first time, or was it the second grasp?
Like most things we do, mate, first time.
Pretty much. I mean, Matt
research.
had a bit of XRP or something, but we pretty much, once I watched because we were into the health, so I watched a lot of Paul Check and people like that, and then he interviewed Joe Bryan, and then once I watched that, then it's something in me clicked, and then I just kept watching, and and then Matt, we just
that was
didn't look
really,
back
wasn't
then.
it?
That was it. We took off. And we sorted. Well, we think we've done it the right way the first time, rather than mess around with exchanges and.
'Cause obviously, once you've come across it, you've realised that this is the way that you can fight back.
Yep.
And you guys have taken that by the horns over the last couple of months, especially within our mastermind group, and you've really started running with it quite quickly, which is great to see. But you've obviously identified this as a tool to fight back with. Am I understanding that correct? Or
100%, mate. Definitely.
It's
Definitely the only way we've found so far that is something that we can do is be in control of our own finances and follow on from there.
Well, that was the biggest learning. Every single thing we complain about, in my opinion, is all connected to money. It can be Australian dollar, it can be any other currency in the world, the US dollar. Every single thing is ruled by by the fiat system in the Western world. You have other nations now. You have the BRICS nations. They don't trust it either, so they're going their own way. Trust and money are the two things that led us to Bitcoin, because when we first studied what was wrong with What's the Problem by Joe Bryan, that's the thing that just cracked it wide open, isn't it, really? Mm-hmm. That's what convinced me, because Bobby was early on, like, I had shit coins, and then she's like, and you always looked at Bitcoin, you're like, I can't afford one of them. I didn't know anything about it. It was just, it was way more than any other shit coin we had on our CoinJar exchange. And again, it was just the broken money, and you're like, this is another form of money. It's not just this little meme coin token, because I was working with, a few guys were talking about Quant and Solana and XRP and stay away from the meme coins. And then once we started really learning it properly, that's when you learn the difference between Bitcoin and all the other shit coins. One's decentralized and the rest is centralized, just like the fiat dollar we're all in. And
that's it.
Yeah, so to that point, mate, that's exactly why Bitcoin just helps everything we were all about. It was just that little thing that was like finally the missing link to how the fuck are we gonna move what we're all that's in our head and all we understand now, how are we going to shift and control it ourselves? And that's where we ended up. So, and now we're here.
It's a great journey once you start understanding it all. And I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't understand it properly the first time. I just treated them all as digital currencies at the time. I never read the right white paper. I never watched any YouTubes. I just researched it and played around on CoinSpot and thought, okay, might be the future of money. But then I thought, no, this is all programmable. I never understood Bitcoin was different. And it's taken me that much time to get there. So I'm glad I'm on that same journey with you guys and that we're on the same team. But that is the thing. It's about...
Sorry.
No, Karen.
I was just going to say, Jack, I think that happened, that everything happens for a reason, I believe. So you probably didn't come into it till later there'd be a reason behind it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, when I got into it, obviously I didn't have much. And during COVID, my property, I just bought a property like 3 or 4 months before COVID. And during COVID, the prices went crazy. And I thought, well, they're printing money now. We're going to have a collapse soon. So I'm going to cash in on the money printing that they're doing. And I'm going to put it all into gold and I'm going to wait for the collapse. That was my plan. And unfortunately, it's taken 6 years before we got to this round of where it's at now. But I've been fortunate that I did make some money in gold because I'd put everything in gold back then. So a part of that has gone into Bitcoin, hedging my bets on a few things while I can. And that might be the reason for it, is those days I didn't have enough cash. Now I put a little bit of it into Bitcoin. So yeah, we're all on that journey, but I've come to understand it now a lot better than I did then. And I am very much like I can see you guys are people who just want freedom. We just want to have our own lives and live our own lives with our own choices. And we don't need all this government overreach. We don't need all these rules and regulations and red tape and bureaucracy. We just need a government that is there to do the basics that they're supposed to do and leave us, the society of people, alone to, run our lives. And I think you guys are in the same boat.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely. They're just interfering way more than they have to. And again, like I said previously, it still circles back to money. They are grasping at straws because they need revenue. They need more tax. They need to prop their debt up, and they need to pay their bills. And everything's just being inflated into oblivion. And it is so clear when you understand the money side, which we never were. We never understood it. We were never taught any of this in school. And you don't hear it in your mainstream. You don't hear it on the TV or the radio. It's only when you really have that inner feeling, which is what we spoke about before, that you go, well, this is not right.
It's unfair. We're in an unfair system. And I don't like playing
Very
unfairly.
much.
Yeah, we're very competitive. So as long as the rules are fair, game on. But they're stacked against us now, so you've got to look for a better alternative, and that alternative is Bitcoin.
And that's another reason why I'm so excited about it is, I also see life in general from a biblical point of view. I do a lot of those kind of studies in my history. And Bitcoin, to me, there's a spiritual component to it, because every now and then the world looks like it's going to go to hell in a handbasket, and something happens where humanity gets a little hope. Yeah. And to me, Bitcoin is that hope. It's something where we can fight back. It's something that is a gift that's been given to us from somewhere along the line, where we can actually fight back and prove that, we can't just be taken control of just for no reason. Whether everybody believes in that or not, that's another story, but that's where I am in my life. There's more to it than just, assets and money, and there's a spiritual component to it. That's my take on life as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's for humanity, I believe. So we'll see what happens in a few years' time.
It's just that free market, isn't it? That we've never had. It's something we've never had, and I think that's the whole point of its existence. Really, it's just that literal answer to that domination, that the big boys, the big end of town, just having that such power over people, and the 12 board members of the Reserve Bank or whoever it may be that can just decide, no, we're going to increase the interest rates because that's what we're going to do. So it's just unlegislated tax. They're just taking from the people, and it's so normalised. That's the bit that frustrates me the most.
Yeah.
Even now with what's going on with the latest federal budget and interest rates again, I'm already hearing in circles that I talk to, at work, but what can we do? And people just work harder. They hustle. Their side projects on the days off. I mean, I do the same, but I'm putting my money into Bitcoin now. I'm buying sats. We're not buying. Yep. We're not buying sats. We're selling our fiat and
selling fiat.
It, so, yeah.
And learning new skills, and investing in yourself. It's not just investing in material things. Yeah. We're investing in ourselves, which is the most important thing.
Well, let's touch on that a bit, Bobby, because obviously that's where the mastermind thing comes in, which is where we've met. Now, we're both in that mastermind program, Satoshi Mastermind, with Sean Clark and Finn Crichton. So we've both joined that. What's the reason that you guys joined this mastermind? Because obviously it's an investment, but it's an investment in yourself, which you've rightly now just identified. But why? What was the trigger for you guys that decided, no, we need to invest in ourselves?
To be honest, mate, it's the way that Australia is going. I don't want to live somewhere that's so controlled. So I want to, we want to earn Wi-Fi money if possible, to if shit hits the fan, we can go, we're ready this time. COVID, we weren't ready. We were pushed into a corner and we didn't like it. We just want to be prepared now. So I think with AI and the way technology is going, I believe that's our best option to completely exit that system eventually.
I'm 100% on board with you there, Bobby. I'm on the same, because again, I'm on the same mastermind as you guys, but I'm not tech savvy. I should have, I had the opportunity 20 years ago when I first moved to New Zealand. I was 18 and I went and studied rock climbing instead of computers or business or stuff like that. So, and I've been in sales for my whole life because I didn't have the education. I only just did a degree last year. But I hear you, is that the technology is there, that all of us now can learn it pretty quickly and pretty easily. There's always quirks and parts that we don't understand, but it's there that we can adapt and learn. And if we can all figure out a way to make some money online and earn online, then the world's our oyster. So I think you guys have got your head screwed on real good, and you're teaching your kids the same thing because they're watching this journey, and they, their friends are watching you guys, and everybody's sharing the love, and your message is getting out there. So I think you guys are doing a great job on that.
Oh, thanks, Jacques. Same to you, mate. It takes us all to, everyone's got their own voice and their own uniqueness. There's plenty of room for all of us, isn't there? So I think the biggest step is having the courage to actually give it a go. And
well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's action, and that's what we try and pass on to our kids. And to be honest, we learn a lot of that from our kids. They're all studying their own thing, and they've watched us try and move through society in a different lens, and that it can be struggles. They can't fit in at times, but they're all doing their own thing, and they've definitely learned a lot from watching what we're doing. And to point more towards the mastermind, Jacques, like, if I could just say, it was probably, for me, it was Sean Clark is the reason I joined. I was a little bit apprehensive, not being tech savvy at all, just a tradie, boilermaker welder, like computers I'm not good with. Slowly, I use a bit of it at work, but it was Sean Clark that really, I just resonate with Sean. Like, I think we all do. He's just a great human being, mate. And I think early on, I messaged him just privately off Twitter, off X, and 15 minutes later I was on a phone call just having a chat. Same thing, mate. I was just unhappy in my job. I'm like, I want to pivot. I want to change any pointers. And this was November last year. So he did speak about the mastermind briefly, and even then I was like, wow, this sounds really technical, AI and computers, and it was just that initial call with him, wasn't it? I was still a little bit like, well, AI, I'm a bit, again, out of my comfort zone. And we spoke after we got off the call and just said, nah, let's do it. Let's just lean in, because we're not going to get caught with our pants down again like we did with COVID. And we want to build a foundation that we can step off.
And we don't want to muddle through it. We'd rather have, they're great coaches or mentors or whatever you want to call them, humans at the end of the day. And it just, we wouldn't know where to start, what to do or anything. So it's good to have guidance and someone.
Just there to have you back.
To have you back, to push you along,
And shout out to
you would feel the same too, I'm sure, Joe.
Shout out to Finn too. Sorry if you're watching, Finn.
Yeah, definitely. Finn and Sean have been a great help. And that's the same reason why I've joined, is because it's the people. Obviously, I didn't know Finn at the time. I met him during that meeting. But Sean obviously had his channel for a while. I'd been watching for a while. I'd been putting it off, thinking, no, I don't even want to call because I just don't have the money right now. But again, I'd just been starting in AI for a few months, and I thought, if I don't do it now, what are the chances? And that was about the same time that I started taking testosterone replacement, and my mind was starting to improve. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have done it. So it's a journey, and then meeting people like yourself, where we're sort of encouraging each other and jumping on each other's channels and trying to learn. That's the best way to do it. So what I want to sort of get out to the people out there like us that are in the same boat is, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and invest in yourself. Sometimes, that does cost a little bit of money, but stop boozing it up and going to the, pokies, and put your money towards something that's beneficial.
100%, Jart, you said that, very well.
Yeah, that's perfect, mate. And that's what the exact same thing we say to our kids, health and diet. It's so easy to make an excuse, isn't it? To say, I can't afford that or I can't do that. You just got to go without something else. Like actions louder than words, like just habit stack like we're learning in the mastermind, just little bits at a time. Don't try and do it all at once. Do the research and put some money in your skin in the game. Like actually pay your way. Nothing comes for free. No one's going to give you the best advice for free. You actually have to put the work in, and then once you pay your way and put your skin in the game, results come from you, no one else. No one's going to do it for you. So, and that can be bloody hard, especially when it's hectic. You've got 3 kids and a busy household here, and you just got to plug away, and everyone supports each other, which is the same as what we do in this mastermind. You can just jump on the chat, and I think that's the best thing we found through Bitcoin. I can honestly say the people we've met and the conversations we've had with people, as soon as you start talking, you're on, aren't you? It's the best thing. It can be.
Yeah. It can be. So you guys have also found, obviously, that there just seems to be a different mindset. So whether you call that alternative or you call that open-minded or whatever the case may be, it just seems like Bitcoin people are more receptive to change or different cultures or different people or different mindsets. Did you obviously seen the same thing, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's been having an open mind. I think a lot of people have got it's closed off, and they might think, oh, they've heard something and that's cemented in their mind. They won't then question anything else that gets said to them that might conflict that. But that's just how my brain thinks. Yeah. But that's an open heart and an open mind is the two things that'll get your growth.
Yeah, I see it the same, but I also see everything's fed to people and their subconscious mind takes over without going too woo-woo. Everything's reactive with a lot of people and their subconscious takes over. So there's one question I struggle within maybe a circle of someone where we're talking what's going on, and when you've actually done the work yourself and actually done a bit of research rather than just rely on second, third hand information, people just rattle it off. It just rolls from the tongue without even actually thinking, geez, did I actually research that information, or have I just heard that every hour on the radio? You know what I mean? And we're all guilty of it. It wasn't probably till COVID, really, we were the same.
That's the awareness. That's where it comes back to being aware, isn't it?
But even in a group of conversation, if you bring something up that is different, you do get it is quite alienating. But that's why we are attracted to these circles and our mastermind and our other groups of like-minded people, because we are all those people we are minority in a sense in a world that's just on the treadmill, wrapped up, debt-ridden. Work, drink, and then
that's
we go again. It's just like
watching sport and drinking and all the stuff that goes along with it. So, yeah. It's all about distraction. Obviously, I've lived an alternative life myself and a bit of a conspiracy theorist for a very long time. So I understand that journey and how people look at you and do things like that. And it is distracting sometimes when you've come to this point and you've opened your mind into different things, that other people are so shut off that it's almost hard to realize how blind they can be to certain things. And it just seems like Bitcoiners have this little doorway where they've allowed something or something's triggered them and their minds have opened up. And all of a sudden you've got this ability to interact with somebody. The world is a different oyster. Something's changed in the mindset. I don't know if that makes sense, but that makes sense to me. And I'm very grateful that I've come across, yourselves and other people that are on this journey. There's so many guys that you've interviewed with already, and many, many more that are just genuine people that want to help others as well and want everybody else to succeed. This whole, there doesn't seem to be tall poppy syndrome within Bitcoiners. It's like, hey, get some so we can all benefit,
100%. Yeah, definitely.
I know exactly why. I believe everyone's most of the people that are getting into Bitcoin, they've had their whack of pain. They've had that pain point. And I honestly think most people haven't, or they shut it off, or they suppress it. Everyone's got something there that's hurt them along the way.
Or they're like Jack said, they're distracted, which a lot of people are. You go to work for 40 hours a week, then you got to drop your kids off, and you got to go to sport and shopping, and they're so distracted with just surviving in a way.
Yeah, they don't stop to check in with themselves, and that can be really hard. Not looking within.
That's the
really
system.
Hard. And like you mentioned, it is a system.
That's the system.
Yourself.
Yeah, and that's
so.
That's
what was the thing they said? They said, "Give them bread and circuses, and they'll never revolt."
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's what they've done. They've kept us busy. They've kept us busy with entertainment and sport. And even though we are embracing technology and we're going to be learning about AI and all these kind of things, there is always a positive and a negative side to that, because it can be used for good and it can be used for evil. And there's a lot of people using it for distraction, just slop or rubbish stuff there's no value in it. So obviously for me, I'm trying to focus on what are you doing in your life to reclaim humanity within all of this. So don't go and create all the stuff to make slop. Use it as a tool, just like electricity was a tool and the wheel was a tool and all these kind of things. Forklift was a tool that we adapted. There goes the dog. Let's use this as a tool that we can use to improve humanity, because what they're doing is they are creating a divide and conquer strategy, like the oldest trick in the book. You choose a team, red or blue, black or white, whatever the case may be, choose a team so that we can argue about it. Division. Bitcoin seems to be that thing where people can just come together regardless of all those differences and just say, if we fix the money, you fix the world.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better, mate. And that's further on in the Bitcoin journey, isn't it? We're not even close to scratching on that surface, maybe explaining in our podcasts yet, because we've got to try and layer it, because you do not realise how far in you are. Like, I never would have thought investing money into such a brilliant asset would change the way I perceive, the world, other people, like humanity, like exactly what you spoke about, and reclaiming that humanity. It's just the creative side. There's so many things. It just opens up your mind, and we're already
fairly like rewiring of the brain.
Yeah, and I'm not sure people would understand it. Like the first person that ever heard about Bitcoin would be maybe watching this and just thinking, "What are they on? What are they on about?" But if you are out there listening and you're on the fence and you're wondering what this is all about, just get join a group, chat with people like us, and it won't take you long.
No, not at all. It's just have that commitment, do some of the research, read some of the books, read the white paper, and realize that it is open source. It's something that cannot be manipulated. There's no CEO. Do some research. So, I think, we're on the same journey, guys, and I really am looking forward to the next 10 or 11 months of, being on this mastermind together with you guys and seeing where we all end up. And there's some other really great people in the group, and obviously Finn and Sean leading it. And we've had a couple of good guests, like Adam Hudson has already come on board and taught us a few little tricks, and great to see him as well. Just to sort of flip quickly to one last thing before we come to an end. Now, you don't have to give any details because some things are personal, but part of my journey on all of this is looking at it, that alternative plan B. And because of what's been going on lately and that my hormones are coming right and I'm starting to think again, I am actually looking at exiting. I've lived in 3 countries. As you know, I'm South African originally and lived in New Zealand, been in Australia for 16 years. This is home. I've been in Australia longer than I've been anywhere else, basically. I'm more Australian than I am anything else. But with all this government overreach, it's that sovereignty. It's that being able to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. Fortunately, I'm single. I don't have dependents except my folks, which I can look after from a remote point of view for now. So I'm looking to exit as well, and Paraguay has been my choice. So I've actually started the process. My application is started, and I'll be going on that journey. Whatever your guys' journey is obviously with you guys, but at least we are all thinking about what is another choice that we have if something like COVID happens again.
Good on you.
So I'm assuming that you guys are thinking of these things as well. You don't have to say what your plans are because they're probably private, but it just seems that Bitcoiners are these kind of people that are looking at alternatives all the time. Where can we go to be ourselves?
Yeah. We definitely talk about it and would love to get a plan B sorted. But I think our main focus at the minute is getting the Wi-Fi,
getting ready
so that
income.
we've got an income that we can sort of go.
But we definitely do speak about it. Our goal now is to. I don't think I'll retire in Australia because I want my money to go further, and I think we live in one of the worst countries for theft of our dollar and not in our dollar because the dollar's pretty much buggered. We live in a country now that we have to do more for less every single week of our lives. And there's other countries out there now, in my opinion, that are welcoming people like us that want to get ahead and want to teach our children how to don't save in dollars in the bank because it's debased every week. You need to invest and you need to learn how to grow your wealth, your time and your energy. And that's not possible here anymore, especially with the latest budget. They're going to sell it every which way they can, but it's just malice. It's just pure malice. I can't stomach the fact that they're robbing from our children's future. So we're teaching them that we're preparing the best way we can, and we're going to look at the long-term goal. So maybe retire and into another country where that may be.
At least retire, but if we can get there beforehand,
if
we can, that's our main.
Yeah. I think we're in the same boat because I think we're very similar ages. And there's no way that we're going to retire in this country with whatever you've got in super and savings and investments. It's just not going to happen. I think they've made it quite clear that our generation is just not going to get there. So unless we go to a country that our money goes further, I just don't see it happening. And that's why I'm on this journey now as well. And I'm, just like you, trying to make the Wi-Fi money, see if we can make it work, put our bets on Bitcoin and just try and build communities and people and learn some new skills like AI and development and tech and whatever else is out there that we can try and help each other out. But it is definitely a community of people that we need to come together with. So I think we're on the same journey.
And they're worldwide. Us people, we're all worldwide. The connections there. You've only got to look in the conversations we've had with people across the globe. We've already done 2 podcasts with some people in America. So
brilliant.
Yeah, Bitcoin is everywhere, mate, and all we can do is just stick together. And
that's it.
The way these governments around the world are pushing harder and harder, it's only going to make more people go to the best money we've ever seen. So
I think we are going to have a bit of resistance from them. I think they are going to push on us and try and steal. But I think if we just hold our ground, we'll be okay.
Yeah, long time horizon. All you need.
Yeah, that's it. Well, what I want to do, mate, I thought maybe we ended it up there, but I want to just ask you 1 or 2 last things quickly. So what is one thing that people can think about if they're just starting out? What is the one thing that they should consider if they're looking into self-sovereignty, Bitcoin, or their own futures, if they anywhere between the ages of 20 and 40 in Australia?
It's pretty much simple, really. If you get Bitcoin and you start dollar cost averaging, which is just a weekly buy or a daily buy on a simple app on your phone on an exchange, you'll soon come to realise that Bitcoin is its own money. There's no people in between. It's just you and your money. Once it's off the exchange, you hold full self-custody of your time and energy transferred into the best currency we've ever seen. It only increases in value over a long time horizon. It's always up and to the right. And that's basically the basics. And once you do start buying some, you'll then do the research and read plenty of good books. You'll read the white
Get into the
paper, you'll
game.
get on some podcasts, and
Put some
you'll
skin
be
in the game.
talking the same. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Just have an
Thanks for coming.
open heart and open mind.
Yeah, that's it. Open heart, open mind. Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight, guys. Where can everybody find you? And follow your journey and what you're trying to teach and where you're going to go. So where can everybody find you?
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate you having us. Matt's X, or it's our X, but Matt.
I'm on X, so I'm at Webby7981, and we're on all the socials at Two Kind Minds. So Instagram,
YouTube, and TikTok.
And TikTok for now. And we're just kicking that off. But yeah, daily posts and just slowly learning the social.
Stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, but that's where people can find us, and we'd love to bring more people in and share our journey.
Build a community.
Brilliant. That's it. Well, guys, you heard it here. Two Kind Minds. Go and support them. Go and subscribe to their channels and follow the journey of these two individuals that are doing great in Bitcoin and in self-sovereignty. So thank you for coming on the show tonight, guys. And just from my side, for anybody else who's watching, Reclaim Media, we're just here to try and support you guys and just show you that you're not on your own journey. You're not on the journey all by yourselves. There are others out there, people like myself and like Matt and everybody else who have gone through mental health struggles or are going through health issues in general. We all have to reclaim ourselves. We need to claim our own minds first and our own sovereignty, and then we can help teach other people as well. So you're not on the journey alone. If you're feeling under the weather as a man, get your bloods tested, see if you've got any testosterone issues like I have. Taking treatment has really made a big difference for me, and I'm open to talk about that. I'm not shy about it at all. So if that's you guys, please look into it. If you like what we're talking about, please like, subscribe, all that kind of jazz, and hit up Two Kind Minds and do the same for them. God bless. See you guys next time.